puppies, Dave. I hate puppies.
Good podcast.
I feel threatened.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Pallet House, the only podcast dedicated to solving first world problems and hopefully helping you figure out what you should be eating or drinking this weekend. Eating. I don't have an eater this week.
Maybe next week.
Nope, I don't have one next week.
You can see the future?
Well, I know what tonight holds. Tonight holds lots.
All right.
It's going to be super exciting, boys. Strap in.
Next week, we're going to talk about first night of March Madness games.
No, that'll probably be right now. Because I'm watching 4 TVs at the moment, so I'm watching all the games. The only thing I don't have on is the Caps game, which is bumming me out. I'd like to see where we are. We're still holding.
I got a hot take on the NCAA tournament.
Okay, I'm here for it.
Not doing brackets is more enjoyable than doing brackets.
Nope. How?
I've not done one the past few years, and it's been awesome.
But it's more enjoyable?
Yeah.
You're somehow enjoying.
I don't get bummed out when immediately my shit goes to shit. The amount of times you win money on brackets is like most other gambling. You get the thrill of, I might be in it, and then some 12 seed or whatever, some upset happens, and then you're like, at least for me, you guys all know how I react when I lose. As soon as the losing starts, it's the rest of it's a bum, and then the rest of the tournament I'm like, if only I'd picked this game differently, and blah blah blah. It's like, just sit back, enjoy, and watch it, and the upsets doesn't hurt you when one happens, and it's just more enjoyable.
You sound like a guy that's getting ready to quit his fantasy football league.
Aha.
He's that
I like
guy
where
too.
you're thinking. I like
He's
where
that
your
guy
head's
too.
at.
Every year he's like,
Just
I'm
like
not
him.
doing this. And then he finds his way back right at preseason. I understand what you're saying. Like, there is a certain amount of when your team gets knocked out in like that first weekend, there's a big
Or when your
letdown.
bracket gets busted. Like today I saw like whatever that not the McNeese upset, but the other one that was like a 8-9. But like I saw something on Facebook that said like 52% of the brackets have been busted at that point. Like, or no more perfect bracket. Like literally
one game in.
it Thanos
Yeah.
the shit. Like, so then you're bummed, right? Like,
You know how you can insulate yourself from this on some level?
Gambling.
No, smaller bracket.
Gambling.
Like you only
Fix
have
and cause of all your problems.
you only have like 4 people in your bracket pool. Like just
Yeah.
do it with your kids. And be like, have a bracket for bragging rights. You do that, then it's like
Yeah.
even when your bracket gets busted, if you could still just drag 2 teams to the Final Four, you might win it. That's not how I roll. I like a big bracket, big money.
Well, how many brackets do you get into? That's another problem I've had when I used to do them. I'd end up in 3, 4, 5 brackets. I'd be betting against myself by the halfway through it.
Yeah, I'm only in 2 this year, which
That's not
feels
bad.
okay. 2 feels
not bad.
okay.
That's
and it's,
doable.
And it's the exact same bracket in both. So
You didn't
No, I'm either,
second guess yourself?
No, I had big plan this year.
Oh.
Yeah, I used science.
Oh, Lord.
AI.
No, AI will not help you. AI actually pissed me off. I went to AI because I'm a contrarian, and I was like, AI, you familiar with the NCAA tournament? And it's like, not really, but I'm glad to find you stats. And I'm like, you fucking dork. Of course you're familiar.
Not even selling me on this AI.
They never want to give you stuff like that because I ask it gambling advice all the time, and I haven't found the proper prompt where it's like, all right, wink, wink, here's what's up. Bulls by 10.
Probably because the lawyers got involved, right?
Yeah, they have it dialed in so it won't give you gambling advice. You have to
I
find...
lost my entire house because AI told me to bet on this game.
So this year what I did, because I never like taking a 1 seed, even though they more often than not win it, I was like, hey, AI, if the 1 seeds didn't exist, then who do you think would win? And this motherfucker came back and gave me Florida. I was like, That's a 1 seed. Like, what? So now I'm arguing with it. But of course, it's very polite because we're at the infancy of AI.
Yeah.
Where it was like, oh, good catch. I'm like, here's another one. 3 of the teams you gave me are 1 seeds. You only had one that was outside of it. So it annoyed me right away. Got in an argument with it and said AI's done. And I went back to the original AI.
You're like, AI, I know AI is new, but like it should be able to decipher the 4 teams with the 1 next to them.
It shouldn't be that complicated. It just started going back into, I think it was like looking over all of the data. Like years prior.
Yeah.
I was like, 2025. I'd like information from here. It still wouldn't help me out. So I went back to Ken Palm. Ken Palm's the answer. Always.
You just picked the highest rated Ken Palm?
No. I flipped it a little bit. I started looking at
The second highest rated.
No, like I said, I didn't want a 1 seed. So I started looking at defensive efficiency. They say defense wins championships,
That's what they say.
and everybody's going to go with the offensive team and the offensive efficiency. So I said, nah.
Tennessee?
Yeah. So now I'm taking Tennessee. I'm a big Vol guy.
Interesting.
I don't know. Defensive efficiency wins games. They're the most efficient team that also can rank in the top 20 because you got to do that. And if you look at
Top 12, actually.
if you look at the combined, they're 5th. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, here we go. The best defensive team that combined is okay. Old Ken Palm. By
What
the
does
time
that
this
stand
comes
for?
out, that's a dude's name.
Oh, it's his name.
Some data scientist, some nerd that would go through and not look at records, but
Mr. Palm.
just Mr. Palm, if you will.
Kenneth Palm.
Yes, and he's only like not been right or not had someone in his top little tier twice since he started doing it, like 25 years.
That's impressive.
Yeah, so I hedged my bets.
I picked all chalk one time in like a work
Probably
one.
did fine.
And yeah, I didn't win though, but it was like pretty.
You were up there.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. But all it takes is 1 or 2 upsets.
Yeah, but I don't see. I can't get behind your logic of it's more fun without the bracket. At least the first weekend's more fun with a bracket in your hand. You're still alive, unless you picked some nerd team.
Like
No.
Duke.
You always have to pick an upset
Yeah, but you can.
because if you don't, then you'll be out too. If you pick all chalk, you're gonna be out. And if you pick and nobody really knows about these games because you don't watch. No one watches this much.
No one watches this much.
Yeah. I mean, how many Drake games have you watched?
None. I'm an Arizona fan. I have caught a handful of Arizona
Yeah.
games this year because I just happened to be up and they were on, and I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's my team that I haven't cared about. So I'm going to watch it. So whoever they played,
It's
then I
hard.
know.
It's hard too to pick the upsets when you see those big numbers next to those little numbers.
It's
If
real
you don't,
hard.
if you don't know what they're actually, who they played and who their big wins are and all that stuff.
I think the new thing we were talking about at pregame, you got to find the teams that have the most money because it's
Yeah.
a totally different ball game now. Like BYU's got all the money. I expect that they're going to be a powerhouse team for years until the money runs out.
Yeah,
Go get them, Mormons.
I think they're the Cougars.
I honestly couldn't remember. I reached in
The Soakers.
and I was like, yeah, the super
The
soakers.
Super Soakers.
They're the best. I wonder if that's like a slang derogatory term. Be like, ew, don't date him. He's a super soaker.
Dude, they should lean into that. They should literally have the OG original yellow and green Super Soaker like as their mascot.
Yes. Soaking rules.
BYU Super Soakers.
I
No
always
one
wonder-
wants to see them on the schedule.
There's so many people that don't listen to this show enough that probably are like, what are they talking about?
They know.
Do you think soaking is a very common term that
Yes.
people are aware of?
Yes.
You're a listener.
I've heard it a lot more since we've talked about it. Not giving us the credit. It's
It
just
is
I feel
out-
like it's
it
in
is
the
out there.
lexicon now.
It is out there.
I feel like there's probably some popular shows that have done the joke and beat around the bush. Hey,
Ooh, nice. No, beating is not soaking.
That's
yeah,
liberty.
but if you're not gonna do the deed, you're gonna want to soak, and if you're not gonna be able to soak, you're just gonna beat around the bush.
Okay, I see how you twisted it there. But technically, soaking is just standing in the bush.
Yeah.
You're just there.
Yeah, but at some point,
You got to get out.
yeah, you got to get out.
Like, that's what I've never understood. Like, you push in,
Yeah,
now you're soaking, but you did go in. That was a movement.
that is.
And then when you pull out, that's a full movement.
Yeah.
That's an in out.
What
You
if
have
you
to-
What if you just say you're trying to soak 100 times in a row?
Very quickly.
Yeah,
I just want to soak a little.
Yeah.
I don't like to soak for more than a second.
yeah.
So in, soak, out. In, soak, out.
Restart.
Yes.
New soaking cycle.
We must have soaked 1,000 times last night. I came everywhere. I didn't expect that. That was a wild card for me.
Yeah, I mean, if you're really gonna get if you're looking for a loophole here, I mean, why not throw that one in there?
Yeah. Honey, can we soak a couple hundred times tonight?
Yeah.
I would really like that. It is our third date.
She's over there with a clicker.
Click,
Click, click, click, click.
That's 200 soaks,
That's
bitch.
200.
You're done.
We're getting a little close.
Yeah, I don't want to be a sinner.
Yeah.
I imagine to properly soak, it has to be like a race car driving down pit lane. Speed has something to do with it.
Like how quickly you go in and then sit.
Right. If you go too fast, you're fucking. But if you go slowly,
Okay, so it's the opposite of the pit
Oh,
stop.
yeah.
Like I got to go in a millimeter at a time.
right.
Yeah, pit road's bad because you kind of zip in,
Yeah, I was
hit
like,
the
damn.
brakes,
Yeah,
and
but-
then zip back out.
But on pit road, isn't it a reduced speed limit?
It is, but it's still like 50 miles an hour. But
Versus
as opposed,
200.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's more like you're driving down a cobblestone road or a bunch of speed bumps. Like you just gotta slowly get to the soak.
Right.
Fuck that.
Hey,
I'm
man,
going in hard.
you're a horrible Mormon
We need a soaking expert to give us some insight.
Do need a soaking expert.
or homework.
I'm gonna go up after this episode and soak my wife and just see if she notices or if it's a problem. I guess soaking, you can't go in any faster than a tampon. Whatever that speed is.
I couldn't tell you that speed.
I don't know. I've never put a tampon in, but I assume it's like you kind of go slow and then you do like a pop. I don't think it's a wham pop.
I think soaking's a young man's game.
It's a fucking loser's game.
Well, that too.
Not so. Do you wear a condom when you soak?
That sounds like a way around, right? Because that's
Yeah.
a barrier. So,
There's
like,
no,
why not just?
Bang it out.
There's
Yeah.
no soaking transmitted diseases that I'm aware of.
Not that I'm aware of. I'm pretty sure you have to shake that tree before the disease gets loose. Just being in there is not enough to get it.
Let's do some research. Let's call the Center for Disease Control.
Yeah, if I just put it in and just sit there for 5-10 minutes and then pull it out,
And do it slowly.
of course, do it slowly so I don't stretch my pee hole open to make it susceptible to venereal disease.
Any of you soaking experts? I know we got a bunch of listeners. Just give us a call.
If we have any listeners who've actually soaked, like had a girl or it was you, we're just like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah,
I
you
just
can
want to soak.
you
I'd
can
love to know.
call in and the whole asking for a friend thing.
Yeah, we won't.
I had a buddy that was in the soaking.
Yeah, we won't climb.
When
you.
I mean, he was 22. Wait, what?
Why would I make fun of somebody for going to heaven? I wouldn't.
Exactly.
I wouldn't make fun of them.
No.
Call in. I
Bonus
wanna know.
points if you have extra wives.
Do you just have a soaking wife?
Ooh.
Definitely. And I got one whore wife. The one that just lets me go in and out.
And then the soaking wife's like, you never want to stay over here. You're always over at her place.
It's not cheating if you're soaking.
Ooh.
We've all
is
seen
it
that
not-
bumper sticker.
Is it not cheating?
It's not sex.
So if you buy into soaking, then it's not cheating. Like I could soak with my girl's best friend.
Yeah.
It was not sex. It's the in and out.
She might be upset if you do have a friend jumping on the bed, though.
That's where you took it too far.
Yeah, I didn't mind you soaking, Betsy. It was when Todd showed up and jumped and fucked the whole thing up.
He jumped for a long time, I heard. That's really inappropriate.
Yeah,
You guys knew better.
He can barely walk. He's exhausted. Look at him.
He blew out his Achilles.
Yeah. How hard did you soak her?
How do we end up at soaking again?
I don't know. Oh, because the Mormons have great money on their team.
All that soaking money.
Yeah. Well, you can save a lot of money if you're not out there banging.
That's the same as laundering money?
Soaking money? If it is, I'm going to get into the laundering game. That sounds great. Hey, baby, I'm just going to put this in there. I won't take it in and out, though. That's a fucked out way to launder money. I wonder if cocaine use would go down.
That actually go up.
If all the dollar bills had been soaked.
Or up.
All the dollar bills have cocaine on them.
Yeah, addicted to laundering money now.
You'd be increasing cocaine intake.
I've always heard that, like,
You'd have more soaking deaths.
all dollar bills have a certain amount of cocaine residue. Do you actually believe that stat? I do not.
It's fun to believe.
I mean, when you talk about certain amount of whatever, like that could be, immeasurable to the. I mean,
Yeah, I've always heard every dollar bill has some amount of cocaine residue on it. I
yeah,
just
you
don't
could
believe
probably
it.
say that.
I don't buy it.
Probably has some amount of fecal matter.
Definitely.
That I'm willing to buy. Because I believe all of our hands have some level. Yeah. I believe all of our hands have some level of fecal matter on them. Even us with bidets. Speaking of soaking. I soak that butthole for a while. But I don't let it go in and out.
Oh, that's a new technique. Honey, I know you're into soaking. Can I soak that butt?
Yeah, why not? It's not cheating. It's not sodomy. It's just sod.
How's your side coming with your little walkie spiky shoes?
I haven't seen anything yet. I do think that I've noticed a lot of birds, like a lot of birds in the yard.
Eating all the seed?
Every morning they show up here about 9 a.m. and they just eat seed. It's become quite the party. I think this is the best yard in the neighborhood as far as just seed in bare spots.
What is the hay or straw on the grass? Is that for runoff or is that for what is that for?
Moisture retention.
Moisture retention, but
Okay.
also so it keeps stuff in place and keeps things from.
Does it help with the birds?
It's got to. I mean, they fly over my house. It just looks like a fucking buffet.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, not so bad. Oh, that straw has got to be dangerous. Looks like snakes.
Moisture retention makes sense though.
Yeah, it's definitely to keep the sun from beating off of it and let the moisture kind of. Really?
That sun is freaky.
That's how suns roll, especially in their early teen years.
Yeah.
And it's just violent.
Cloud soak, sun beats off.
You get it.
So then, and like as that gets wet and the sun cooks the grass all day, there's still moisture in the straw.
Yeah, it just kind of
Yeah.
steams it, which has got to be better for germination.
Yup.
Yeah.
Some old man talk right here.
Get off my lawn.
That's fucking. I'll never be that guy because my lawn sucks, regardless. Of what I do.
Exactly.
It's just bad.
The way my neighborhood is with the streets that, the houses aren't far off the street and everybody walks a million dogs. Like people got to like respect the lawn with the no dog pooping and peeing and all that stuff. And it's like, good luck in my neighborhood. Like there's just dogs on every front yard.
Just soaking it.
Just
Soaking it. What can you do?
Speaking of green, did you guys have a good St. Patty's Day?
I think so. I had a weird St. Patty's Day.
Mm-hmm.
I had like a really long day before St. Patty's Day. And
well, St. Patty's Day was Monday.
yeah, but my wife's birthday was Sunday.
And then Saturday, y'all went to the Irish Festival, right?
Did the Irish Festival, but I was the driver.
Oh. Why weren't y'all on the party bus?
My wife didn't want to go to the festival, and then she kind of changed her tune last minute, and I was like, I'll just drive.
That is the worst case scenario.
It was fine. I didn't have to, I had 2 beers, rolled out. It was okay.
I mean, the way I like to do, I was working Saturday, so I didn't get to go at all. But the way I like to go is to go early with the family, stay for an hour or two, and bounce. So
Yeah, which
I would have been
fit-
fine with that.
It fit right into my kind
But
of.
we had the mutual friends with the party bus.
They were taking shots all day, like
Dude.
double shots. I was like, I want no part of this.
Yeah.
I was perfectly fine because I still wouldn't have been taking shots. I was glad to have the excuse
Yeah.
when they'd come back with a juice cup.
You say you wouldn't have taken shots. I
don't-
feel like the party bus is like the get out of jail free card. You almost feel like you have to tie one on if you're on the party bus.
And they all did.
Then they did it right.
They did it right. But I don't want to take shots. Every time I do shots, then I get someone like Dave coming on the podcast going, should have seen Brendan.
I tricked him.
Yeah, it's not for me. Not for me. I've outgrown the shot game. Just no good. But had a good time, and apparently had too good of a time because the next morning when I woke up, I was not right.
On your special day.
On my special day, I was so
On-
fucking on St. Patty's Day
So Sunday. So what'd y'all do Sunday for your wife's birthday? Brunch. That's so every Sunday's your wife's birthday.
There was like 20 people at this brunch. It was a shit show.
Where was it?
Downtown, Scott's Edition.
And Brendan was touching the rafters, so
You know how I like to jump.
Oh.
I was jumping. Long story.
By the way, Scott's Edition I don't think is downtown, but okay.
It's city limits.
Yeah.
So went down there, went around, but then came back here and like was still partying into the night. It was a good time. But then the next morning, I this was the first indicator that I wasn't sharp. Jumped in the car, drove to the gym, was able to get up and do that. Hopped out of my car, left all my shit in their car running, walked into the gym. Got about halfway across the parking lot, was like, wait, what the fuck am I doing? And like went back to grab my stuff and realized my car was just running.
Wow.
I just didn't even, I got there and just got out. I was like, okay, gotta go tighten up. I gotta get my shit together. Came out of the gym feeling much better. Then felt bad all day.
Nice.
Wonder why. It's weird.
So brunch, y'all had a big crew.
Yeah, it was fun. It's a good crew.
Dave, you were there.
had a sip of alcohol.
How'd you know about it?
The wives are getting close, I think.
Ah,
Ugh.
that's why I wasn't invited.
Your wife was invited.
Was she?
I have no idea.
Probably not.
I wasn't part of it. It's group text chains. That's how
Gotcha.
it went down. And I didn't have any say, so I just showed up, did my part.
I wasn't invited to Brennan's birthday, if that makes you feel better.
I don't think I was either.
I don't even know if I was, being honest.
Brendan doesn't have birthdays.
Yeah. It's not a special day. Troy taught me that.
So I want to hear stories about after brunch.
There are no stories about after brunch.
You went somewhere.
Hold on, I want to hear stories about the jumping and touching. We're playing above the rim on a Sunday morning.
I'm of the belief I can jump high enough to touch anything.
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 Yeah.
I don't care what it is. If I start staring at it after a few drinks, I'm jumping up and touching it.
Yeah.
Well, I got caught jumping up and touching, then it became a thing.
You know that's like prime way to fuck yourself up at our age.
Yes. That's why I was trying to do it quietly without running. Just straight jumps. Eventually, though, if people caught on, it just became a thing. And the Duke's wife almost died. And that's
Oh,
when I was
Lord.
like, we got to cut that.
Dave, what was he trying to touch?
A rafter. It's about
Just-
9.5 feet up.
A random rafter.
Probably about 15, 16 feet in the air.
Dave underselling it.
Underselling it like a bitch.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got it. I fucking got fucking hops, dude.
So
Yeah.
tell me what was going on. He's just staring off at this rafter, and then you see him jumping by himself.
He and the Duke were staring for at least 6 minutes straight and just chuckling at each other. And I'm standing
Jumping
next to
when
him.
no one was looking, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's really not. It's not a great topic. I don't know why we're talking about it.
This is an excellent topic.
Fucking stupid. I'm a child. I'm a child.
It's the middle of a restaurant. There are other tables.
yeah, it's exactly.
I was
There's
standing.
wait staff, people bringing trays of food around.
I was tucked in a corner. I was fine. It's not a topic. I don't understand why we're talking about it.
So you see this unfolding, and then is the Duke trying to touch?
Well,
It doesn't sound like a Duke.
No, I don't recall the Duke doing it.
It doesn't sound like him.
no one was trying anything for several minutes, but you could tell
You could hear the
gears
gears turning.
Yep.
You could smell the smoke from the two sticks rubbing together. That was their wieners.
I just knew it wasn't that high, and I could get up there.
Well, nothing's that high for you.
That was my logic, and I thought this is too high for anyone to get to. Look, it's not a topic.
Did you have your jumping shoes on?
I had Vans on. Jumping enough.
Yeah.
They're not my jumping shoes.
No.
Though. Have some nice Nikes with like an inch heel.
Yeah.
Vans are flat. Mm-hmm. You're really your own height in Vans.
Yeah, they're
Very
they're for
disappointing.
when you're skateboarding.
Yeah, you're as low to the ground as you are capable of being.
Well, you wear those basketball trainer shoes that have the real big front to keep your.
What the fuck were those called?
I remember those.
They definitely didn't work.
They did.
No.
No, I know they did. Here's how I know. When I was in 8th grade, there was this kid who was like not cool. He wasn't a cool dude.
This is a throwback to my call in with your story about your buddy.
Right.
All right, your friend.
No, this kid
Menden.
honestly. Yeah, all right. So Menden doesn't have a lot of friends. And this kid, he got those stupid shoes. And so if anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, it looks like a white tennis shoe, but it has a platform on the front. It's like a big disc. It's about 2 inches elevated or down.
Yeah.
And so in order to walk on them,
Basically, it's a reverse high heel.
yeah, your front is up.
Yeah,
And
the
it-
ball of your foot's up.
And it forces you to really push
Stay
through
on your calves.
that to jump at all. And so this kid was already not popular in junior high. And I wasn't that cool in junior high either. I did not like junior high. But this kid,
The Madrigals say differently.
that was high school. I was peaking. So this kid every day would come to the gym and he'd put on these stupid shoes. And man, middle school kids are the worst.
Yes.
And they would destroy this kid. And be like, nice shoes, dork. Like, you're never going to do it. And he's constantly jump shot, running layups in these shoes, which I don't even see how you can run in them.
Yeah, they look. I always saw them in like those stupid magazines you would get that like would sell weird shit.
Yeah, like a Sky Mall.
Yeah,
Like a Brookstone back
but
in
like
the
I
day.
never saw them working. Never saw anyone actually use them.
This kid had them, and he rocked them the whole back half of the 8th grade year. And then into the summer, presumably, he was doing
Yeah.
that. His timing was actually pretty smart, because when you get into high school, now, 70% of the kids don't know you.
Yeah.
It's just your junior high that fed in. And they all know you, and they know you're a dork who wore jump shoes.
And it's kind of a reset.
Yeah, it's a reset.
They're actually called the strength shoe.
Nice.
Oh, well, there you go. The strength shoe. So this dork in 8th grade rocked the strength shoe. And then he came back after that summer after rocking the strength shoes the whole time. And he tried out for the basketball team. And he jumped from JV. He went straight to varsity because this kid could fucking dunk. By the time he came back, like he honestly...
I wonder how much it was the shoe or just like genetics, like puberty kicking in.
How tall was he?
He wasn't that tall. Like he was a normal kid, but he could, by the time we got back, he could jump out of the gym, and he was fast.
I don't give the credit to the shoe. I bet he did a lot of work.
He was obviously putting in
Yeah.
a ton of work. I just have always, from that day forward, I've been like, don't make fun of those shoes, dude.
Yeah.
I saw a dork become cool. It was like an 80s movie.
Yeah.
Like this kid showed up and he was a dork, and then all of a sudden he made
Without
the
the
team.
montage.
I watched the montage, and I'll tell you, it wasn't funny music. It was kids pointing and calling him names. And that was the background music for his second half of 8th grade.
So you're over there looking at this 14,
Aw, damn it, we're
15
still talking about
foot
this shit?
rafter, and the Duke's talking you up.
Yeah. And then
And Dave, you're watching this unfold.
I just made
And
a
you
couple
wander
jumps.
over there.
I had just made a couple jumps when I would see the girls were in their conversation. I would just give it a shot, and I was failing. It wasn't going great.
They were all watching.
But then they all started
Every
watching. Then at one point I turned around and everyone has cameras up. And I'm
Yes.
like, nope.
How'd
not
you think
jumping.
this was going to go?
I thought I was going to get away with it. I thought I was going to hit it on the first shot and no one was
You
going to
think
know.
you think a grown man can jump at a full brunch just to try to touch the ceiling and no one's going to pay any attention to that? It's such a weird sight to see.
Yeah, pay me no mind. I'm doing my thing.
How close was he, Dave?
He touched it.
At the end, by the
Oh.
end, I got to it.
Yeah, it did take like 6 tries.
Once I got them to put the damn cameras down, I was like, look, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Just put it down. Put them down. And as soon as they all put them down, I gave it literally everything I had. And I touched it. Couldn't believe it.
Dude, you are so going to end up blowing something out doing this.
I think I've been on the track for blowing things out. I mean, you know, I still ride skateboards. I still do stupid shit.
Yeah. And it's going to catch up with you one time.
Yes. We all are aware of this. I'm going to blow something out.
Riding your skateboard around in the middle of the night sounds cool when you hurt yourself. But when you say you're at your wife's birthday brunch, and you try to touch a rafter, that's just not a cool story.
That's why I don't know why we're talking about it. It was a weird thing I was doing. I'm a weird
Or
dude.
if you wreck your wife's brunch because you blow out your ACL and you're laying on the floor of this restaurant grabbing the back of your leg, dude, how happy is she going to be?
Well, if I touched it and then blew it out on the way down.
Oh, yeah, that's going to change her. She'll be hovering over you. I'm so glad you touched it, baby.
Well, what's the
When
first
you get
thing?
out of the hospital, I'm going to be all over you.
You can soak all you want.
Good thing I can't have sex. I'm just going to be soaking now with my torn ACL.
God, I wonder if she'd enjoy that. I should probably try this. Yeah, we're getting older.
In Brennan's defense, when he failed the first 5 times, she called him a pussy
Of course she did.
every time.
Which made me angry.
Really loud
Yeah.
in a restaurant.
So then
I didn't hear that.
they got a lot of laughs.
Yeah, she's the coolest.
She,
That woman's so full of hate, dude. It drives me to jump.
and why you don't understand? Why don't you see that coming? I'd be like, I'd rather my wife not yell pussy to me across the crowded restaurant. So maybe I shouldn't try to do this right now.
I proved her wrong.
Oh yeah, I think you proved us all wrong, or right, whatever. I could have gotten that for you.
However it goes down. I don't know. It's not a topic I want to talk about. You want to talk about old man topics?
We don't have to talk about it.
Here's an old man topic. This is some weird shit. You guys heard about the fish doorbell?
Fish?
Fish doorbell?
I'm not.
Does it play like a 17-minute jam song?
No, it's not like a Billy Bat.
Take me to the river.
Oh, he's doing the PH. The
Yeah,
fish
I
doorbell.
got the joke.
Yeah, you ring it and it goes for 18 minutes. That would be the best fucking doorbell.
And
you
you get a
ding dong ditch that house all the
And
time.
you get a contact high.
Like, ding, bouncing around the room and just fucking goes.
And it's different every time you hear it.
Oh yeah, no two doorbells are the same. Even better. I like that. Yeah, I need to get a fish doorbell. No, there's this like canal in the Netherlands, and they've got this. You know, the fish have to go like upstream this time
Spawn.
of year because they got to go spawn.
Yeah.
and so they're trying to come out of the water.
They got to go soak.
Yeah, if you will. So the fish go upstream, but there's this lock system in place to maintain the canals all through the city. But unfortunately, what happens is these fish that they need to keep propagating, they get caught at the lock as they're coming upstream, and then they just sit there at the lock. So what they used to do is just once a season, they would just open the lock, and then the fish that made it would come through.
Just luck of the draw.
Kind of. But what would happen is the big fish knew that there was a natural spot where everyone would just naturally go to. So they would just post up and then just eat them all. And then they started losing fish population. They kept noticing that their fish population of these specific fish just kept going down and down and down. And it was having adverse effects across the entire ecosystem in that area. So they were like, we got to come up with a better system. So about 7 feet down, they put a camera. And this camera just sits there and looks right from the lock down the stream. And when the fish come up, then they put it on a webcam. So you can go on this website and you can watch it. And there's a fucking doorbell. And if the fish come up and it's one of these styles of fish, you ring the doorbell. And if
Who's you? Anyone?
Me, you, anyone rings the doorbell.
But who makes you the fucking fish know-it-all guy? You could let the wrong fish through.
Well,
Ding
any
dong
fish,
ditch.
any fish that shows up, you ring. Well, that's the beauty of it. Like, it takes a certain amount of rings before people are going to do it.
Yeah.
So if a big school of fish comes up and people are like, hell yeah, they're ringing that doorbell.
Oh, so literally it's not one ring does it.
if enough people are ringing it and they get enough hits, then the guy will actually go out, open the lock, the fish will swim through, and he'll close the lock. And it's like a big manual.
Oh, so this isn't like on a computer system.
No, the dude goes out and hits a steering wheel, like a big truck steering wheel.
So it also matters how many people happen to be on this website at any given time.
Yeah, I find that when I'm on there, there's always about 1,300 people just sitting there.
Watching
waiting.
for the fish?
And it's become, so I have like,
I have not heard about this at all.
I will literally, if I have 3 screens up for work and one of them's not being used, I'll just throw the fish cam on. And it just shows murky water.
Yeah.
I don't see anything.
Have you seen any fish?
No.
You haven't had the chance to hit the
No,
doorbell?
and I know the excitement is going to hit me at a level that I probably won't be able to contain when I first see an eel. I really want an eel. But they have pike in there.
What's the magic fish we're looking for?
I want a pike or an eel.
No, what's the fish that we're worried about the spawning? There's got to be a certain breed.
There is, and I see Dave frantically looking, and I'm sure he found it if he just Googled fish doorbell.
No, but he's got some dope jam bands.
Yeah, with an F.
Partnership with Ring.
Well,
You've seen our fish doorbell. Now check out our Dave Matthews doorbell.
Ooh.
I think the deal is that it, like you said, it's a lock that they only open up usually for boats. And so it's all the fish, bream, pike, bass, and others.
Yeah, we need the fish. We need the fish to do it, especially eels, because we don't even understand how they fuck. You know, we've never seen an eel fuck ever.
Speak for yourself.
If you've seen it, please explain it to
I'm not going to tell
scientists.
you guys.
Nobody knows how
You
they
don't know how
impregnate.
eels fuck, then that's on you.
We've never seen an eel fuck.
That cannot be true.
We do not understand how eels fuck.
There's eels in captivity.
It's external fertilization.
Yeah, but we've never seen the act. We don't know anything about eels mating and where they do it. We don't know shit. Eels are like really odd to us. They're a blind spot in science.
Eels are weird anyway.
They're super weird. Super weird.
Yeah.
But this fish doorbell.
I've seen Disney movies.
You just Google fish doorbell.
All right.
You'll find this thing.
PH.
Throw it on. No. Do not. Do not put PH. Do not go to lemonparty.org. Do not put PH fish doorbell. Just fish doorbell. Google it. It'll come up and you can watch this shit and then you can ring the doorbell. It is the most old man bullshit I've ever seen. But there's something cool about
It's
knowing.
old and new all at the same time.
All at the same time. Dave, are you on the fish doorbell right now?
No, I just read an article. But yeah, it's a green, murky, cloudy.
Hit the button.
It was just an article.
Don't hit the button unless there's a fish.
We're ding dong ditching this thing.
We're going to lose our fish doorbell if we
No.
abuse it.
Get that old man up and moving.
It's 5 hours ahead of us there. It's 1:30 in the morning.
This is what Brendan wants to see, Troy.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's the murky green.
I think we're being punked.
It's real. There's schools that have it on all the time. It's like
Schools of fish.
nice. Little kids love it. Old people love it.
Yeah.
And I fall right in between the two. I'm an old man who does stupid kid shit all the time. So the fish doorbell.
There it is. Live stream.
Look, there's the live stream.
Oh my
of the fish
God, that's
doorbell.
amazing.
1,029 others.
See? There's 1,000 people staring at this murky.
That looks like a wall.
It's nighttime, I believe.
It's 1:30 in the morning there.
Yeah.
Looks like a wall.
And I'm just waiting.
So the fish are asleep, is what you're saying?
Yeah, but apparently as we get into the season, as spring continues to go, entire schools will
Fish are
show
gonna
up.
be needing to get up that lot.
They got to get up there. They got to do some banging.
Let me up in them lot guts.
That's right. I'm just trying to help these fish fuck.
You've always been that kind of guy.
I'm big into it.
Yeah.
Helping fish fuck, not fucking fish.
No. Well, there was that one time in college.
I was drunk. And it smelled like fish. In my defense, it was wet. It smelled like fish.
Don't mind my 75-gallon fish tank over here in the corner.
Sure is cloudy. How about a pale ale, Stifler?
Actually, you could put a webcam on your fish tank. Then you could just have that thing up in your office all the time.
Oh, and you could make your own fake doorbell that plays fish songs.
To the fish.
Right.
I wonder what kind of sadist, like if I put it online, if that would always be playing fish.
No, you just have the doorbell on your version that every time you click it, a different fish song starts playing to whoever's listening.
Okay. Why not?
What hits does Fish have?
One hit.
Bouncing around.
Bounce
the room.
Around the Rooms are one hit?
Yep.
If you would consider that a hit.
That's a great song.
It's a great song.
It got like top 20 or something like that.
Yeah, it's the the equivalent of
Touch of Grey.
yeah, that's exactly that. Those are the only two, and Widespread just doesn't even have one. Maybe Walking.
Well, it's not really fair to say Touch of Grey is the equivalent of Bounce Around the Room when...
Touch of Grey made top 10.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying Grateful Dead has a lot of songs that a lot of people know. I don't think you would say the same about Fish. They're not on the same level.
Don't tell that to some fish head.
Well, obviously.
I've always been
When
a
you
Panic
Google
guy.
Fish's greatest hits, it says Farmhouse was their most commercial song, which I couldn't tell you anything about it.
It's probably Bouncing on the Room with some fucked up name.
Probably.
That just sounds about right.
Yeah. Number 2 is Bouncing Around the Room.
Oh, damn it. Well, there goes that theory.
Velvet Sea, Fluff's Travels, You Enjoy Myself.
I bet
Free. That's a great
That,
song.
I bet that
Okay.
that has to do with downloads, not commercial.
Well, the number
charts.
1 said commercial success.
Who knows?
The Divided Sky, Reba, Character Zero, and Fee. Oh, there's a Free and a Fee? That's confusing. Free's a great song.
And then Fee, huh?
Yeah.
Fee is my favorite Fish song.
Okay. Well, there we go.
What is?
Fee.
You know that song?
It's awesome. It's on like their least popular album.
Interesting.
You should listen.
I'm going to have to listen to them all because I'm seeing Fish this summer. I don't want to.
At which music show?
Bourbon and Beyond. And
Nice.
they're one of the headliners, so I gotta get my Fish shoes on.
We tried to get RV tickets and they already sold out. So we're not going.
All right. Well, I've been training. I've been watching the Fish doorbell every day. Every day I watch that Fish doorbell and just wait for a fish. Haven't had a lot of luck. Keep getting distracted by work. So it seems like I only give it a few seconds at a time. I think I did accidentally click the doorbell once, and then I was so mortified because
You felt guilty?
it like went away. Like I was typing something, and I think I like somehow accidentally hit something that triggered it on the other page. Joy, I see you looking down. What are you looking for? Are you looking for what's in the box or what's coming out of the tap?
You tell me, boss.
I don't care. They're both options.
They're both contenders.
Both contenders.
Cups.
Either way, you need cups. So, Dave, I need a cup, yes. Dave, are you, how much of this deli are you drinking tonight?
Funny you should ask.
Because I haven't, we haven't told everybody yet, but Dave got a new low score.
Yeah. Average.
Average.
How much?
It's
No, how much beer?
I'll do the same. Give me half a cup.
Look at Dave with his healthy liver. He's going to shoot it down.
Yep. Stone cold average. I don't even know how that works.
I don't know, bro, but
Mid-December, completely average. Early January, at death's door. Early February, halfway back from the dead. And then late March, perfectly clean, like nothing happened.
But livers regenerate. It's one of the few organs that...
I just can't figure out how I got an acute injury to it. Maybe it was skiing.
No, it was tainted booze at that resort.
I think you might be onto something.
I think that probably was.
We haven't talked about that theory on the air. I got a theory because there was a time there in a lot of Mexican resorts where like people were showing up dead.
We talked about that on the podcast, right?
No, we just talked about it with ourselves. And there were all these people showing. Oh no, we talked about it on the podcast
Yeah.
like back in the day.
Yeah.
When people were showing up dead in their bedrooms, and they were like, "What happened?" They found out it was tainted alcohol that was killing these people. And so I guess a big thing is they'll make a bunch of counterfeit alcohol, put it in bottles, put it on labels, and it's a lot cheaper. And they just kind of slide it in amongst the good stuff as a way to save some money. It's really when shady people at the resort are trying to make money, and so they just work with the dealers, the cartels.
I did search that for Aruba. Did not find any instances of it.
Yeah, because you made it. You know, if you Googled Natalie Holloway and she didn't die, that wouldn't come up with Aruba.
Yeah.
She died. We talked about it. They would have found this toe-headed guy dead in the room. It would have been you. You're not as cute as Natalie Holloway, though, so it might not have gotten the run.
Right.
So this beer right here, I'm very interested for because I was looking today for a tasty beer to put in the kegerator, and I found something I've never had before, and I went out on a limb, and I bought the Solus Brewing Company, Solus sounds bad, so we'll pronounce it Solus, Solace, Solus Brewing Company. This is their Little Bit Cloudy. Now, their flagship beer is called Partly Cloudy. It's an IPA, but it's strong, but it's hazy, and it's good. But this is their, like, basic bitch version of it. This is the lower ABV, just lighter in general.
It's IPA, right?
Yeah, the Little Bit Cloudy IPA. Coming in at 6%, but you can only imagine what the full flavor is.
You bought a 6-0 of this?
Yeah. So I've got like a shit ton of these. Usually the most I commit is I buy a 6-pack, and then I'm like, well, I got to choke through those next 4.
What brought this about?
March Madness.
Are you having a thing?
Tomorrow we're open all day.
Oh, really?
You should be aware of this. This was sent out on Marco Polo to a chain you're on.
Yeah, I did hear that. I didn't listen to it, but I heard it.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be a full day. Young Jimmy's driving in.
Ooh.
Yes, that was actually the catalyst for this. But so there's Michelob Ultra, and then there's this Solus Brewing Company, Little
I
Bit
might be
Cloudy.
able to combine that after. What time y'all starting?
I'll be out here probably about 1. Did the old half day.
Well, you've already fucked this beer over.
Damn it.
What does that mean?
It's not fucking cold.
It's not?
Mine's not.
Mine's cold. You must have gotten the shit up in the tap.
Mine's cold.
Mine's cold.
Mine is room temperature.
Pour that out. Pour again.
Hey, get yourself a freshie. Get yourself a fresh dog.
I sense Troy's not going to like it when it's cold. So when it's room temperature,
Oh, I'm not.
Woo! Troy almost died doing fun shit.
This fucking.
This room is dangerous back there. You're in a dangerous spot.
Yeah, I don't like this beer. I can already tell you that. But the fact that it's warm,
Certainly didn't help.
it's like drinking urine. If it's ice cold, I would assume is way better than drinking body temperature urine.
you're correct.
Care to elaborate?
That's what my friend said.
Oh, Dave Golden Shower. Okay.
That's an upgrade.
This beer is a beer.
It is a beer. It's an IPA.
It is. It's a light IPA. You can tell that it's been dumbed down. It's a little refreshing. It's got some good
Cloudy.
cloudy, juicy
Just like a
notes.
little
bit,
bit cloudy.
but a little bit of peppery bite. That's like, but it's still juicy. So like, I'm okay with the juiciness of it. The good news is this isn't a bad beer, but it's also not a great beer, in my opinion. The Little Bit Cloudy has all the telltale markings of a very good IPA, but it doesn't do any of them like spectacular. It's certainly somewhere between a 3 and a 3.5 if I had to, but I haven't settled on where I want it to net out. The juiciness I like. There's a little pepperiness that takes away from it. Let me go in. mean, it's easy drinking. It just leaves a little bit of a bite on the back end.
Yeah. I think that detracts.
It does. It's a 3.5 without the bite. I'm gonna give it a 3 though. I think if I cut it with a little bit of Ultra, it'd probably be perfect. But I'm gonna go 3.
I'll go. I feel like I've had the same beer at myriad restaurants with food, and it's passable and it's fine. It's certainly not bad. I pretty much agree with everything that you said. There is this funk that feels not natural to an IPA. That's delicious. But it's not a 2.5, and it's also not a 3.5, so it's a 3.
Yeah, all right. I was hoping you would see something I missed, but that's a resounding better than average.
Yeah, it's better than average. I think the problem I'm having is I'm still remembering that one we had last week.
That was perfect.
That was so good.
I drank those beers all weekend, and every time I cracked one, I was like, "Is this the best?" Like I was over the moon with that Grateful Dead beer.
Yeah.
This beer,
Here comes the big pan.
this beer is exactly what y'all said it is, and I agree with you. Like, this is your run-of-the-mill IPA. It is not bad in any big way, and it's also not good in any big way.
Unfortunately.
And it is just one half a notch above meh.
Total run of the mill.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like
that's it.
it's got a funk, but it's not the worst funk. But it's also not a good kind of. It's got a little bit of the pepper, not too much, not too little.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of.
It's hazy, but not
Yeah.
hazy to the point you go, hell yeah, it's a hazy. It's juicy,
If
but not
this
to
is
the
the
point.
little brother to another one, I don't think I'd like that. That might be a little bit too much of everything.
Yeah, this one just it straddles the line. It's just juicy. It's just hazy.
It's just a little bit of all those things.
And it's just 2.5 cases. So
Man, I think you got to try your mix. What's another tap? The Ultra?
Ultra.
Yeah, do a half and half, man. Let me know what you think. I kind of, because you've found a way to dial in some vanilla chocolate swirls of beer with this 2-tap keg you're running here.
Yeah, because I like to lighten up some of these things.
Yeah.
But have enough flavor.
So what do you score it, Troy?
Oh, sorry, 3. I'm with y'all. Like it's not
I
a
thought
2.5.
for sure you're going to knock it to
Yo,
2.5.
you put some Ultra in there, the aftertaste is gone. But it
Nice.
still has just a little. This now tastes like one of those ultra light IPAs. Yep. Tomorrow I will be drinking half and halves. Yeah. Good call, Troy. Thanks for reminding me. That beer's a fucking 4. That's super tasty right there. Because now it just went from 3% alcohol to about 4.5. It's perfect. Yep.
Yeah.
I'll be drinking those all day.
Well,
I have no choice because otherwise it won't go.
I was gonna say I'm just trying to help you choke it down, like because that meh beer is not anything to enjoy.
Nah, I'm not selling a lot of these, especially at the price point I sell them at. Zero.
So I met a new listener this week.
I thought you didn't. I
Ooh.
thought you literally just met Stu.
Well,
Yeah,
you stepped on my joke.
Yeah, because that's not a.
No,
What the?
I was at St. Patrick's Day on Monday at an event, and Aaron was passing out booze
Bandages. Those are
bandages
great.
to everybody, and then Stu out of nowhere is like, or somebody said something like, "Oh, there's a shortage of them," and Stu's like, "Yeah, because Dave and those guys are talking about it for 15 minutes on the podcast." And I'm like,
Oh, he listened.
I'm like, what? Huh, that's weird. And I didn't say anything.
yeah.
And then like 20 minutes later, he brought up another topic from another podcast. And I'm
a
like,
different podcast.
yeah. And I'm like, what's going on here, Stu? And he's like, well, I had to drive back and forth to Charlotte in one day. So I got to listen to 6 episodes in a row. And I'm like, oh, how
He's
about
back.
that? He's a listener.
That's great.
So he is caught up from 6 weeks ago.
Well,
to
he's never
present.
caught up
Well, yeah,
because he's years
just
behind.
He's just missing 2022 to 2025.
The funny part is, like, he's obviously still not a listener because the fact that he thinks because these guys are talking it up, we've shot the numbers up through the website. Right now, alarms are going off at the booze bandage place going, what is going on? It's like the nuclear plant. Like, holy shit, our numbers are through the roof.
Look at this hot spot in Virginia and a little bit up in the New England area and a little down in the South.
And a couple in China.
Yeah, and all of a sudden we unloaded a few in China for the first time. It's odd.
But I thought it's kind of
funny.
like when someone studies someone else so they can have like winning friends and influencing people, like learn something and talk about it. He's like dropping these tidbits in, like, "Hey, I'm one of you guys."
It's actually smart.
Oh yeah, I mean that book sold millions.
Yeah, this is how you do it.
Why is he not on the podcast anymore?
We should ask him.
We just
Stu,
do.
if you're listening, let me know why you're not on the podcast anymore.
I don't think he's driving to Charlotte for months.
Yeah, that's one part of stepping on the joke.
Yeah, 3 months from now,
Yeah.
he's like, dude, you guys don't tell me when you're doing it.
Yeah,
That's always every person's excuse. You don't tell me when you're doing it. You didn't call.
yeah.
I don't have time to chase around everybody.
We know why Adam's not here on Thursday nights.
He has a valid excuse.
Yeah,
But he's still in the text chain
exactly.
because at least he's engaging and he's like, hey, if you do it this, he'll reach out and start the thread.
Yeah.
I'd like to record on such and such.
Yeah.
Okay, no.
That doesn't work for us.
But at least he tried.
Yeah, I mean, he wants to be here.
Yeah, so like he stays.
Yeah,
I send him the brackets.
Mondays work for him and not for everybody else.
Yeah, I said you get a bracket. You get a personal invite
Nice.
to the brackets. Psh, you're cool.
But like Stu kind of like faded out and then like never really got the story as to why. And I know he was like changing jobs or something.
He's changing jobs again, I believe.
Well, he was on the they used to travel all the time. I feel like they don't travel like they used to.
I think they do.
There was a stretch where they were gone for a month, I think.
Right.
Like it was just crazy.
Yeah, he's like multilingual now.
No, he's bi, but I don't think you took that wrong.
Lingual.
No,
I'm talking about languages.
No, that's where I think you're wrong.
I get what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he doesn't speak multiple languages. He just speaks drunk Creole in different places.
Next to you, I don't know anyone else that claims to be from more places.
He's from a lot of places.
That's coming from you.
The funny thing is when he does it, I go, ugh. Like, you can't claim them all just because you were there. Jeez. The only place you're
I
from
love
is...
that you admit that.
But you just can't. You can't. It's sad. It's sad.
How could you possibly be from Louisiana and West Virginia?
It's not possible. It's not possible.
No.
Just because you did a little time there doesn't mean you're from there.
Yeah.
But in Brennan's defense, he doesn't wear every hat to every state.
You'll see me out here tomorrow because Arizona's playing in an Arizona hat. I assure you of that. That's for sure. But that's my March Madness gear. Mm-hmm. That's when I rock that.
Yeah.
Because that is my team. Because I don't know if you guys knew this, but I lived in Arizona for a while.
Huh?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, I was there for like four years.
You think you know a guy, you know?
Yeah. But my brother also went to that school, which I think is another good claim to it.
That is a good.
That's valid.
You know, like they had a real basketball team. Brother went there. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I'm a fan.
And that's why Stewart, you can't give him too much shit because he has like stepkids, real kids, illegitimate kids. They all go to different colleges, and he has them all.
And a million cousins.
I guess that's true. I'll get to start claiming colleges once my kids go to said college.
Yeah.
Then I'll be like, fuck yeah. Unless they go to Tech. I'm not joining.
Exactly.
Tech can go screw.
Well, Dave and I have that mutual friend who went to UVA and now his kid's going to Tech. And I was like, I will be buying you a VT dad shirt to proudly wear. And he said he would. I mean,
I won't. I will never rep it.
I won't either.
My kids go to Tech. I won't rep it. I'll rep any other school in the Commonwealth.
what wouldn't you do, Dave?
I have a VT Dad coffee mug that I don't use.
Nice. It's the one you throw when you're mad. You bitch.
I didn't know you had a VT dislike on that level.
Joy graduated from UVA.
Yeah, but you didn't go there.
No, but you get brainwashed.
Yeah.
It's easy to fall into a rivalry.
I just don't like tech because
I've heard that there are nice Duke people. I've never met
But
any.
you go to all the games. You literally go to Tech all the time.
Every friend I have graduated from Tech or
Yeah.
has kids at Tech.
yeah, I know a million nice people from tech. I have nothing against the people from tech. It's literally when you go to Radford, which is 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
And then people go, "Oh, where's that?" And you go, "Oh, it's in Southwest Virginia." And they go, "Oh, well, whereabouts?" And you go, "It's off the New River." And they go,
Whereabouts?
"Where's the New River?" And you go, "It's 20 minutes from Tech." They go, "Oh, I go to Tech all the time.
Yeah.
I know exactly where that is." And you're like, "Fuck you. I had to use another university as the waypoint that made you understand where mine was."
Well, I've always looked at Tech as the Alabama of Virginia. Like, most of the fans didn't go to school there. They just like them because they've had a good football team for quite a while.
That dog killer.
Well,
He put him on the map.
you can't. Yeah, but people don't care about that. They care about wins in football.
That's right.
That's all anybody cares about.
They're not wrong. That shit matters.
Yeah.
But it's the waypoint thing.
Yeah.
That just always annoyed me. That I couldn't describe it without having to finally go.
But I'm not a
20
Tech
minutes
fan,
from
but
Tech.
if my kid went to Tech, I would be happy.
Is the waypoint really your Achilles heel?
It always was when I was at school. Like I would go there and I'd enjoy it. I helped my fraternity found a fraternity there and like was very involved in that process and enjoyed it and would go to Tech all the time. I just didn't like that I couldn't say Radford and someone know where it was.
Yeah.
Or they'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's by Tech." And then like as I heard other people describe it, "Oh, it's by Tech." It's like when you're trying to describe somebody and you don't want to use the obvious thing. So you say everything else. that
Yeah.
you finally have to. All right.
And that leads to the level of vitriol that you would not wear a sweatshirt if your daughter goes there.
Well,
That's more of a valid reason than yours.
They're a hated rival.
But you didn't go to school there.
My
yeah, they're
wife
not
did.
your rival.
Yeah, but you weren't-
Duke's your rival.
But I
Or Cows if you go to your undergrad.
literally had my son's godfather text me when in like 20 years ago when Tech knocked UVA out of the no, he didn't text me, he left a voicemail saying "no bowl for you" and hung up like 1 second after the whistle blew. And I'm like, that's a typical Tech fan.
Yeah, they're annoying.
And they're all
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah, but imagine Brendan going to school at the smaller college right next to that college. Like,
Yeah, I'm the
it's
little
literally
brother.
the little brother syndrome.
But that's why I feel like there needs to be someone that put him in a Tech person that put him in his place that leads to that hatred.
no.
All of Tech people put him in his place. Like, everybody that goes to Tech looks down on anyone that goes to Radford.
That's what I would think,
Yeah.
but that's not what Brendan is saying.
No, look, I actually, like I just said, I like people from Tech. I actually don't mind. I hate that I have to use it as a waypoint. It's a different school. And that's annoying that I have to use a different school. It's like if you owned a Lowe's and you were like, it's by the Home Depot. It would piss you off.
Do you think people in one of the Northern Virginia cities get mad when they have to say, I'm near Fairfax. Fuck Fairfax. I fucking hate them.
It's funny you say it because I was thinking cities. People do that with cities all the time. Like, you would tell people, I tell people I'm from Richmond.
Right. Do we hate Richmond because if you say, where's Chesterfield?
You think people in Petersburg, when people say, "Where's Petersburg?" and they have to say,
Oh, they hate
it's just
Richmond.
outside of Richmond.
Yeah.
That pisses them off.
You think?
Yes.
On some level.
You don't like having to use someone else who does exactly what you do as a waypoint. It's offensive.
Should I start hating Richmond now?
For what?
Because I do that all the time.
But Chesterfield isn't like Richmond.
But no one knows where Chesterfield is.
Yeah.
You're in the Richmond DMA.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to say, I'm near Richmond.
Yes.
Just outside of
But
Richmond.
that's part of the DMA. I wasn't in the Tech DMA.
Yeah. That's true.
I have to use it as a waypoint.
You were your own entity,
yeah.
but you're like having to You're like one of those sucker fish on the side of a
Yeah,
shark.
I'm viewed as a
Like,
lamprey. That's all I am.
Yeah.
I'm a lamprey, and here comes the big shark.
Yep.
And then there's Radford stuck to the side of it.
Yeah.
Just sucking away.
And I've been on a lot of college campuses, never been on Radford's.
It's beautiful. Way more beautiful than Tech's.
Yeah, there's a side though without power.
No, we just call it the dark side.
Yeah, because there's no power.
No,
That's why you would call it that. Why else would you call it that?
They didn't used to have street lights.
There's no sun.
They didn't have street lights.
Yeah, because there's no power.
There's power.
Then why not streetlights?
Look, all the hippies were on the dark side. That's just where people got high.
This place sounds awful.
It's beautiful.
A whole half full of hippies and no power or sun.
They have power.
How do
Water.
they power their doorbells?
You know what? They just ran extension cords to Tech. Fucking assholes. That's just what we did. But I don't dislike Tech. I spent a lot of time at Tech. I like the people from Tech. I dislike Tech.
Hold on. Scratch all that.
But I like the people. I didn't like that. Well, I also think it looks like a prison. The way that the architecture is.
Everybody says it's beautiful campus. I don't get that. I've been on a lot of other campuses that are more aesthetically pleasing to me. That Hokie Stone gray, everything in it, just to me looks like a prison too. Like
yeah, it feels very Shawshank when I'm there. And then I used to have to go I would have to piss in my buddy's sink when I was staying over at dorm rooms and stuff. And then I'd go back to Radford and we had our own bathroom.
Yeah.
And it was very nice.
So y'all had bathrooms. They didn't have bathrooms at Tech.
No, they had the communal down the way.
Yeah.
You had to shit amongst all the other people like a peasant.
Well, it's a prison.
Yeah, exactly.
No doors.
You don't
Just
want to drop your soap.
open toilets everywhere.
Yeah, watch out for shivs.
High five your neighbor while
All
you're
I
taking
had to
a dump.
do was split a bathroom with those two dudes in that room.
Yeah.
It was very nice. Very high-end stuff. Yeah, it's way nicer. I always hated that because I remember I went to Tech and I visited and I looked around and I was like, oh, boy. I don't really like the look of this place. Then I went to Radford and I was like, wow, this is beautiful. And then there were all these hot chicks and I was like, huh, I think I'll go here. And I had a choice and I made a choice. Never occurred to me that for the rest of my life, I would be compared every single time I brought it up.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you went there. You didn't get into Tech. No, I did. I chose.
That's kind of weird. I would say most people that get in Tech and Radford do not choose Radford.
I had two reasons. One, like I just said, that looks like a prison.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. I saw more hot chicks. Two, I was a number as a freshman there.
Yeah.
You'd be like one of 250 people in a freshman class. Mm-hmm. But at Radford, it was 30 kids.
Yeah.
And I knew I needed accountability because I was
That's true.
dumbass.
Yeah.
And in the early 90s, Tech admitted everybody. So
Yeah.
it wasn't...
No, I'm not saying it was special that I got in. In fact, my grades were below the average, but my SAT scores were high enough. And they were like, yeah, you're good enough.
But what I mean is no one in 1990...
It didn't carry the cachet that it does now.
No one in 95 was like, oh, you went there because you didn't get into Tech. No one said that.
Yeah.
Now they do.
Now they do.
Which is also infuriating.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, no, I did. And I said, no, I don't want
It's
to.
also frustrating to know that their academics raised because of the
football.
your quote, the dog killer that took their
literally.
football program to the next level.
After that, they were on the map.
Yeah.
That's
It's the same thing.
a real phenomenon.
It was the same thing happened to VCU. They got into the Sweet 16
Yeah.
or the Elite 8,
Final
the
Four.
Final Four. They got into the Final Four, and the next year, all of a sudden, it's harder to get in.
Yeah.
And they started buying up all the buildings, and they started growing. It's great for the school,
They were actually doing a lot of that before then.
but not at that level.
It
accelerated
changed it for sure. It changed the recruitment, but they were already buying shit up.
They were
Because
buying
I
houses.
gotten hired there in 2000, and they had a 20-year plan. And I was like, oh my god, who? And they had mapped out what they were planning on doing for the next 20 years, and I was like, huh?
It's shocking what having a,
But
a good
they
sports
had just
team will do.
they had just opened the Siegel Center, and then in 2011 when they made the Final Four, they had to go back in that summer and build a whole new suite and put in more seats and stuff because it was they were selling out every game.
Yeah, it matters now.
Yeah.
There's money coming in
Yeah.
at a different level. And that's great.
I think that should be taught more to kids about the accountability because when you're in a small class, you can't just not go to class.
I would have kids walk up to me on campus that I did not know because I wasn't going to class. And they would walk up to me and they were like,
Where you been?
They were like, hey, professor wanted me to, when I saw you, to say that if you don't show up next time, he's going to have to fail you. And I was like, oh, okay, thanks. And then like I would show up.
Yeah.
And they would know my name. They were like, hey, Brendan, you weren't here last week. Come on, man. If you're one of 250 people, I would have been lost.
Yeah.
I would have failed out. And I knew that. I was aware of that because that was the whole reason I wanted to go in the military. But mom was like, don't do it.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want you doing that. And I was like, well, then I need a smaller school. And I just felt like Tech was too big for me. Turns out it's so big that it's the only place on the map. No, but I liked everyone there. I visited all the time. Nice people.
Yeah.
Bad campus.
I'll take your word for it. It's funny too that like back to the sports thing, like Tech has been dominating in football, and by dominating I mean not winning national titles or anything, but they win a lot, and they feed off that. Where like other schools like JMU wins a national title at a lower level, or UVA wins national championships in every other sport, but nobody cares. Like it's all football. Everything is football. And like VCU's held back because they don't have a football team. They can have a great basketball team.
Radford doesn't have a football team.
Yeah.
The only thing we had is basketball.
And it's hard to excel if you don't have a football team.
You need it.
You really do.
It's an economic
It's
driver.
so important. Ivy League schools have, you know, like
Absolutely. And you want to get better.
yeah.
It's like it matters a lot. Because that's how you know where it is. Because you could say, oh yeah, Radford's by Lane Stadium. Bullshit. It's frustrating. Hey, we got to do this again, so I'm gonna shut this fucker down.
Yeah, man.
This was
Wrap it up.
It was fun, Dave. Thanks for hanging out.
What?
That threw him for a loop.
It did.
It's good. No, Dave, thanks though, man.
It's always good to see you, Dave.
That was good.
Yeah.
Thanks
for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
You gonna come back next week?
Fingers crossed.
I don't know. I might have something.
Yeah.
You gonna be wearing that parka still?
Probably.
I didn't know it was 20 outside.
Apparently it's freezing. Oh, alarm's going off. Very busy time. Oh, that's exactly how we're going to start the conversation next time. I've been getting a lot of that stuff.
A lot.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week, next week, last week, all the weeks. We certainly do appreciate it. If you haven't had a chance to rate and review, please do. It'll make Troy happy.
Hello? Hello?
You answered a spam call, dude?
Yeah. They're not talking to me. That's the best part when they don't.
Worst spam call ever. Didn't even ask for your social.
They just check a box that says this answered, and now it's worth money.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Troy, you just entered a new bucket.
I'm getting ready to sell my house though. Don't you worry.
There you go. There you go. If you need a mortgage, you live in Virginia or Georgia, head over to screendoormortgage.com. Jimmy will take care of you. Don't make this any more stressful than it has to be. He knows his stuff, and he will walk you through the process. If you need sunglasses, because Lord knows you do, head over to Nectar Sunglasses. Drop ITPH in the coupon code. You'll get 20% off of a pair of polarized sunglasses that look damn good. If you have any topics you want us to talk about, head over to your email account, because we're old. And send an email to insidethepallethouse@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
We won't get to them next week.
Nope, but we will in a couple weeks. And if you have too much discretionary money, you can always Venmo us.
At Inside the Pallet House on Venmo.
That's an easy place to send it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Ooh, that was very loud beer. We'll be talking to you next week. Cheers.
Cheers. That was a pretty good podcast, don't you think?
Nah,
It's kind of like the beer.
it was exactly like the beer.
Yeah.
No, I was just thinking
Just above average.
when you said it, I was like, yeah, I mean, there's some high notes, but honestly, it's rather middling.
We got to come hard next week.
I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
I can feel it ramping up. I didn't eat enough. Long story.
We're going to finish strong, though, because Dave is going to close this motherfucker out.
He's going to give a funny joke. He's going to do one of these. He's going to go.
So good.
He's going to go, insert Dave quip.
I can't beat that. I just want to say my liver is back, baby.
Time to damage it.
Hasta la vista.
Time to undo everything.